Our second guest today is a marketing professional, someone from the marketing community, marketing space. She is a passionate sales and marketing professional with over 17 years of experience. I hope you can hear me. A one thumb will confirm that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. With 17 years of experience spanning marketing, stakeholder engagement, strategic planning, sales management, and revenue growth. Basically, she's someone you can bring into your business when it is suffocating and your business starts giving you money. Her career has been built across the media and more recently, the financial services sector. So in other words, our guest today have a wonderful connection of the of the financial sector, where she has developed strong expertise in media planning, sponsorship, advertising, brand management, stakeholder management, and the strategic use of technology to drive business performance. She currently serves as the brand and communication manager at KCB Bank, Uganda, where she leads brand strategy, corporate communications, stakeholder engagement, and integrated marketing initiatives aligned with the bank's growth and reputation objectives. Prior to joining KCB, she served for 12 years at Nation Media Group. If you don't know Nation Media Group, Nation Media is the owner of NTV, Spark TV, Dembe FM, Daily Monitor, Enyanda, I think even coming the East Africa now, etc. Working across multiple departments in progressively senior commercial roles and earlier in her career with Radio Apache. She holds a postgraduate diploma in professional marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, United Kingdom, and Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences from Makerere University. Beyond the bedroom, she is known for her bold personality. She likes laughing, a distinctive style, her love for high-heeled shoes, big cars. Of course, she has a big one, I know it, and her rich, contagious laughter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sarah Apio. Sarah, are you there? Okay.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that's the laughter I think you meant.
And the laughter comes first.
All right, so hello, good evening to all our listeners. So right now, according to Asava's introduction, I do not know if he actually meant me being a magician, and I should perform the magic right now by completing in 6 minutes, because I think we had promised our viewers that we will be ending by 8. But like I was pronounced a magician, I hope I will actually not embarrass him.
I think since we started late by 15 minutes, let's also add those minutes there. So we go up to, you can add and see.
Okay, all right, all right. Once again, thank you all for joining onto the call. We really appreciate, and it also shows that you're very interested in taking this intentionally and making sure that you at least grow financially and, you know, and also personally as well. So like I was told to dive straight into the content we have for you today. Just hold on, I'm trying to. Can you still see my slide? Are you able to see my slides?
Perfect.
Okay. So we are basically going to focus on financial planning. So what is financial planning here and what do we mean? Financial planning is simply deciding in advance how you will use your money so that today's needs are met and tomorrow's goals are what? Are protected. But what does this actually mean in real life? What this means in real life is that you have to know what you earn. You decide what must be paid first. And here we are looking at, for example, rent, school fees, transport, food, the basic needs that you actually spend on every month without compromising in any way. You should be able to set aside money for future needs and then using savings and anything around that, really. So it's not about having a lot of money, like people always think. It's not about having a lot of money. It's basically about having a structure and direction, because you can still have a lot of money and still fail to save or fail to manage your personal needs per se. So basically, planning is about resilience. So usually post-election periods, we find that there's a lot that happens around price adjustments and movements. We find that prices of foods are going higher, or maybe price of fuel. There are so many uncertainties in line with probably, the different needs that the different things that we need to spend on during that time. So what does planning do for you in such situations? What planning does for you is that it allows you to use financial services proactively rather than actively. It basically moves individuals, it basically moves the individual's intention for financial decision making. So what do I mean with all this? I would want to give us an example. When I talk about resilience, what do I exactly mean? Take a look at the market ladies, our parents who are selling the tomatoes and onions. They often manage to educate our children. Have you ever thought of how ironic that is? They're able to educate our children, and then you'll find a Jaden somewhere that actually earns 10 million per month, but still struggles by mid-month. They're already borrowing money, but your mother in the market has actually paid school fees for 10 of you. They've built a house. They are living with that particular business, and they're just making the right decisions. So for me, this example has always beaten me up, and it always makes me actually believe that, you know what? Planning is basically about resilience. So the difference is honestly not about the income. It is entirely structure and discipline. So that's what I would love to say about financial planning. And then when we go to the next, are you able to see looks like the slide is cut. Okay. So what are the first financial checks every individual or business should do before setting 2026 goals? Now, without going into the boardroom and the heavy discussions about what it is on financial checks, I want to speak real life, like everyday life. What does this mean for you? This means before setting any new goals, before getting onto bandwagon because you're busy, and this is for both individuals and businesses, we should be able to set new goals based on understanding our current financial positions. And what does this entirely mean or necessarily mean to us? This definitely calls for honesty and clarity. And by the way, with this part, the honesty and clarity is you. Nobody's going to come and ask you for some sort of accountability or something. It entirely lies on you, because you're supposed to check in, how much money do I get? How much money is coming in? what are the fixed obligations that I have? Do I have any debts that already exist? And if I do, which debts, what are the interest rates? And what could be some of the, penalties I might get if I don't pay them on time? Where is your money being spent unnecessarily? Those are some of the checks you give yourself. Because without these checks, all these goals will become wishful thinking. Because real financial planning starts with knowing your numbers. And who understands your numbers better than you do? So we need to take this upon ourselves, and with intentionality in 2026, we need to be accountable, to know our numbers. Let's not shy away from the numbers. Let's not run away from them, because at the end of the day, they'll be able to guide us. Then when we say, how can professionals realistically budget and save when income is constant? We know this is a very huge gap, and let me say a struggle for most professionals, because they fail to, most of them fail to actually budget and save. So what does this mean? This means even when income does not increase, disciplined structure makes saving and progress possible. And how can we do this? Like I said, we are going to talk simple terms. We are going to talk everyday life, what we face on day-to-day basis. You notice simple things like shopping. How often do we go to the market and you've planned to maybe buy, let's say you enter the supermarket and you think you're just going to get, let me say bread. It's that rush evening and you're saying, okay, let me just go get bread, maybe soap and move out. Then as soon as you get in, you'll begin to see offers. You'll begin to see, and you know how the merchandisers are very cunning in those supermarkets. So you'll begin to see very attractive prices on the counters, very attractive things that you need to take. Then for those that have children, you're looking at that beautiful toy and you're thinking, okay. And you know, the people that actually give us impulsive buying sometimes are baby girls. Then you look at that beautiful dress and you're thinking, this one, I have to buy it even if it doesn't fit or anything. So it's usually impulsive buying. So it might seem so simple and it might seem like something that is obvious, but it's actually not. So can we just have shopping lists? And these shopping lists should be needs-based. That will help us a lot. And then number 2, automate your savings. What does this mean? Use digital. We have digital platforms that we can leverage on. Nowadays, things have been made easy. We have digital platforms that we can actually leverage on. And which platforms are these? We have, for example, we have MTN Mopesa. You can use MTN Mopesa. We have Airtel Super Saver. These are all platforms where no one is going to ask you to bring the, your LC's birth of date, LC1's birth of date or anything. These are things that are within our gadgets that we actually have control over. And you can automate them. So you don't have to actually struggle and say, now, how do I pick? Because we all know it's hard for us to pick money from maybe one end to the other. But once it's automatically chopped off, it makes a lot of sense. The unit trusts have gained a lot of traction lately. We've had a very good entities that are really doing this for us. We have Cornerstone Asset Managers, we have Britam, we have Zeno, we have SBG Securities, ICA, Old Mutual USD, and and so many others that we have on board. So what excuse do you have? These are all automations we can actually have without struggle. Then the third one that is actually a very big challenge for for almost every African really, it's the black tax expenses. When you don't plan for these black tax, it will eat you up without you even noticing it. So it's really very good, and it's that we really have to support family, and it's advisable that we support family. But instead of being caught off guard, plan for it within your budget. Plan for it, because we all know it's not very easy. And how do we plan for some of these things? We have the goal setting accounts. Do you actually know what goal setting accounts are? These are basically accounts that we can separate from our main accounts, and most of them have objectives. So Locally, usually we'll have those, you know how you have like a wallet with very many, maybe, what do they call them? Pockets. So each pocket will maybe have school fees, the other one vacation, the other one rent, and all that. It can be that local, but then also, ideally, there are different ways we can do them as professionals. One, in the different institutions we are in, if your institution is not doing it, or where you are is not doing it, because this is basically for the professionals, what you can do, you can have an arrangement with let me say, your HR department. So these people should be able to know that, okay, from my salary every month, I want this amount of money, let me say like 100,000 deducted and saved towards a particular objective, like your wedding, your school fees, and things around that. Then we also see, in fact, mainly, like amongst ourselves, what we do nowadays is that we open 2 accounts. You open 2 accounts, and one will act almost like a savings account, where on top of the different deductions you've had, you'll also have a standing order that just takes that money off and keeps it somewhere separately. And what does this mean? This means you're already saving money, and you're saving it without hassle, without struggle. Yeah, so those are I've taken a lot of time on this slide because those are very practical ways that I think we can all budget and save that we take for granted. All right, so people always ask the question, at what point do we start saving? Because they think saving has to start only when you have an emergency or only when you have a problem. But saving should actually be like now. Let me say now. There is not, I don't even want to tell you it should be the year before. As soon as you notice that you actually need to live and you're a human being, then saving is that very moment, and that moment is now. Every now is the right time for you to begin saving. It's not until you have a school fees issue. It's not until you have a medical issue. I mean, that's how soon you need to plan for saving. And then in terms of investments, let's not rush to do investments just because you've seen everybody else is online selling shoes. You haven't researched and understood how shoes work. What's the risk appetite around that? With the business, which business expansion should be funded through what kind of financing? And, don't rush into decisions. Always do your research and make sure you're aligned with the risk appetite of that particular business that you want to do, because it will help you very well to plan. When we look at the next, which is, it's basically why that early planning is good, is because it allows you to choose appropriate financial products instead of defaulting to emergency solutions. And we all know what these emergency solutions are. The loan sharks, and then before you know it, your piece of land is gone. Before you know it, and usually when you want that money of now, quick emergency, even when someone tells you the interest is 50%, you're like, it is okay. That's very fine. Just bring. They'll tell you, bring this, you rush and bring that, you rush and bring. But forgetting that at the end of the day, it's going to catch up with you. Why? Because you have that emergency solution, and because you did not start your planning early. This is just to show us a few steps to use for, financial stability. What are those practical steps that we can stability? So some of the practical steps that we need for stability are key. One, just living within the income limits. I know this is a very hard one. This is one of those things where we say, do what I say, don't do what I do. Because somehow in the DNA of human beings, we love luxury. So sometimes you find that you live outside your means. But for you to be able to live outside your income limits, you need to have planned for it early. So for you to stabilize, you have to swallow the pill and accept that, you know what, I'm not able to do this at this moment, or I'm not able to afford this at this moment. If there is a house that you think you love so much, it's costing $3,000. And I mean, even the salary you earn is about $1,000, but you're still willing to go ahead and borrow money because you want to make sure you live in that house. No, you'd rather plan for it progressively so that you're able to live within your means to avoid the pressure. Then plan your major expenses early. That all goes to what we had discussed before, reviewing your finances monthly, and using financial products deliberately. One of the practical ways I always tell people to manage some pressure like school fees is, one, you plan during. We've seen, by the best practical method. Let me steal for you something I used to do before, like in my earlier life, when I would have to go and represent my siblings or something. You would have to go to school during a school holiday, meet the head teacher, meet the director of studies or the bursar, and you make sure you put it out clear that, you know what, me, I am coming on the first day, but even as I'm coming on the first day, I'm bringing 0 shillings. But I intend to clear you in the first month of the school opening, or this is my payment plan within the term. And many times you would find these head teachers are very open to such discussions. Why? Of course, that comes with your reputation. Maybe you've actually been a very good parent. And so when you give such a payment plan, it's definite that they will listen to you. So, of course, it's obvious that these things would at least give you some breather and take you towards a stable financial status. Yeah. Then what role should emergency finance funds play in personal financial planning? Emergency plans are these financial arrangements you put in place to protect yourself when life throws unexpected situations at you. And what do they really do? They support us with, debt prevention, all those things of the setting goals we've talked about, the budgeting, it also upholds discipline within you, because eventually you also develop that discipline. So in that way, what do we mean? We say for anyone to progress, there has to be that money that you put in place. And I have noticed lately, even with my friends, there's the discussion is always around, I cannot do this on my own. So how do we actually do it together and have an emergency fund somewhere that will support all of us? I mean, they are very, like I said again at the start, that we have all these things at our handtips, the automated platforms, digital platforms that we can use. An example here would be, you can be a friend of 5, a group of 5 people, and these are just 5. So 5 friends open up investment accounts, like those investment club accounts. Because we have very many here, excuse me. We have very many people that open up those accounts, and it's helping a lot with the emergency funds that we actually always struggle to have, because individually it's very hard. But as friends, you find that you're a group of 5, what would stop you from coming like to KCB and open your investment club account? And that's very simple. You actually have friends that are going to hold you accountable. So don't struggle to do that. And then financial habits that separate people who progress financially from those who remain stuck year after year. Of course, the category of year after year will always be there. They'll always be there. And also, and we'll always be aspiring. We'll get to that point and we are thinking, but when will I ever? But when we are always thinking about one day, it never gets to a point where we start counting day one. It is always one day. But what I want to assure all of you is that it's not about access. It's not about how much money you earn. It all lies in behavior. And honestly, those who progress financially are the people that are tracking their spendings, people that are able to understand how their money is being spent, people that are investing in skills, people that are delaying gratification. You've just started a business today. You've hit a jackpot. And before you know it, you're already at the Bahamas. Like, honestly, for crying out loud, why are you at the Bahamas with your first profits? So these are some of the things. Just delay that gratification for some time. Make sure at least you've gotten your business up there and you're able to sustain it. Then invest in skills and productivity. Skills here, we're talking of different skills. Not all of us are talented with hands-on things. So but you can find those that are still, at least you can do some sewing or some knitting. What can you do that you can take out and sell? If those that are not hands-on skills, what else can you do? It can be intellectual property. Can you sit down and do a concept and come up with a concept that will be sellable to a certain institution? There's so many other ways we can make this money. So let's make sure we don't just sit there, because everybody has something that they can do uniquely, but we just haven't chosen to trigger our minds to actually get that particular one thing that we can do. Review your finances and budgets regularly. You guys, this thing, sometimes, by the way, the secret is in having an intentional partner. Like they say, marry right. Sometimes these things, marry right, associate right, have the right friends. Let God bless you with, the right husband or right wife. You will have someone to hold you accountable, and you're able to review your finances and budget regularly. Then, we also see the habit that for most of the people that rely heavily on consumption, even borrowing, are those that avoid confronting their numbers. Hey, these ones, these are the people who rely a lot on, I have seen this. Like, let me give an example of us, the iPhone users. Do you know the pressure of a new iPhone coming out and you still have the old model? Your children would rather survive things, but you must have that iPhone. Or your Navi call it, but you must have that iPhone. But what are we trying to say is, please, let's leave that in 2025. Let's intentionally spend. Let's not be, driven by consumption. Then what are the common financial mistakes that professionals make at the beginning of every year? This is, of course, the lifestyle upgrades I've talked about. You can't wait to have that iPhone. 18 has come, you have 16, but you feel 16 is old model. You now have to get 18. It's at 10 million. I mean, you guys, the pressure is real. If you actually don't hold an iPhone, you don't know what pressure is, because the pressure is real in that world. Yeah, but anyway, like we had discussed all this earlier, so we can just move forward, because this is basically sitting into the other things that we had talked about earlier. What are some of the simple financial tools or systems that can help people? These are not things that we need to, that are rocket science. It's never rocket science. They are very simple things we deal with every day. The first one is, you've seen that meme that goes around where they say, but what's stopping you from opening a KCB account? Like, Mazima, what is stopping you? 20,000 shillings? What? So these are some of the things we should take seriously in 2026. You don't want to keep your money, I don't know, under the bed or somewhere in that what? Each book, there is that box we used to call, what is that box called? The one where we keep our money. We don't want to, pardon?
Saving box.
It's not a saving box. There is that local language we used for it. It was either chigund or something to show that you're actually keeping. Saving box is for you now planned kids. So yeah, just open up an account, because it will also help you in tracking. Every time money is taken off your account, you're able to know how you're saving, you're able to check your balances, you're able to You're able to do everything and go back and look at your statement and say, okay, this is how my money is being spent. This is how I can improve it. Then sometimes it's also simple things like a simple Excel spreadsheet. I mean, just write down, what am I spending on? What are these? These are personal, like a personal monthly, let me say, budget plan, something like that. This is very simple. If you think that is very hard for you, and it's a training need to use an Excel spreadsheet, Kawa, simple. Just go use your notebook. Get your small notebook. Get your notebook. Make sure you write down every expense that you're spending, because I mean, like daily expense tracking, because it will help you. Excuse me. So here, basically, consistency matters more than sophistication. So guys, let's take this seriously. Then what advice would you give someone who has vision but lacks structure? Hey, both extremes lead to failure because vision without structure collapses under pressure. And then money without direction disappears quietly. It comes like a thief in the night. Sweet. It just disappears quietly. So what does this actually mean? It means that financial success requires alignment. And this alignment is with your goals, with your discipline, and your systems. What are these in particular? The goals are what you want to achieve in future. The discipline is these simple habits. You guys, discipline are the simple everyday habits that we do. And then systems, the word systems is just, I had decided not to use any heavy word this time. So the word systems actually just means like a notebook. Are you going to note down to track your daily expenses so you can stay aligned? So responsibility starts with every individual, and for you to actually do this well, you need to be very intentional. I would love to come to a closing and say financial institutions can provide tools, but financial peace, my brothers and sisters, financial peace comes from discipline. It entirely comes from discipline, and 2026 will definitely reward all those who plan early, all those who borrow responsibly, and all those who spend intentionally. So a call to action for us: if you already messed up and there is no money at the moment, KCB Bank has turned the Kamugia campaign. We have a loan that will give you a campaign that will give you up to 500 million. So utandikire mugia so that you can handle all your messes ahead of time. Thank you, our listeners.
Wow. So before others ask questions, and we are proud, as we are proud of you, Sarah, do you have reason for bad savers so that we can go there and transform? Vanga. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sarah. This was practical, I see. Very practical. Thank you so much.